What is up, everybody? Welcome, Blackline crew. Welcome to another episode of the Blackline Brief. I'm your host, Matthew McKim. How is your guys' day going? It's Tuesday. It's a good day. Happy to be here. Happy to be with you guys. Hopefully enough people fill in from Barron's live. He's in super chat. So, all of the informational portion of the episode has ceased. So hopefully they come here because I got stuff he didn't show. So it's going to be a good show. I got a lot of good stuff for you guys today. All right. As you come in, please hit the like and hit the subscribe. It's the best way to help the channel. Need to make sure that, well, let me do this too while we're at it, because we will be looking at a Tucker Carlson video. So fair use. Okay. Disclaimer, copyright. And then we got the fair use disclaimer. Okay. Come on, YouTube. I play by the rules. You got to play by the rules too, man. You can't just hit my video because, I don't know, just because. You can't just do it just because. That's not fair. Well, there's been some issues on YouTube today. Video and audio is good. Thank you, Mystic. You're the best. I told Mystic today she's my Daisy. She is. There's so much. Jim Bear's my Daisy too. So is Glenn and so is Renita. Okay. So much is behind the scenes. Oh, Bree too. Bree too. So much is behind the scenes that this is totally a group effort. You know, we all are working together to make this channel amazing, bring good content every day, and make it a happy, healthy, productive community where, you know, we all enjoy one another. We enjoy each other's company. We enjoy being here. So, yeah, hopefully she said the audio and video are good. I only asked today specifically because YouTube was being weird. And in fact, it wasn't letting me like do things when I was setting up the video. And I was like, what the heck? And then I see Zach's about to go live and I like message him. I'm like, how are you about to go live? It's saying that on the StreamYard end, it's like YouTube is having issues with the API. You may not be able to stream to your intended destination. And I mean, his stream went good. So, I mean, I was like, okay. And then he messaged me back later. He's like, yeah, I was having issues too, but it ended up letting me go. And I was like, fingers crossed. I spent like an hour and a half on creator support, not with a human. I don't even know if there's humans that work for YouTube. I mean, that's a joke, but I know there is. Like you have an option in the creator support, like when you're trying to fix a problem, it never lets you email or talk to a human. You have to go through the AI first, and it's like so not helpful. Eventually, the AI just kept telling me to do things, and I was like, "You can't just like what the heck?" And every time I did what it asked me to do, it didn't do anything. And I'm like, "Dude, you're not helping me. I don't have time for this all day. Can you send this to a human?" And then it's like, "All right, we'll send this to one of the engineers," and it did. And then of course it got resolved. So I was like, "Man, this whole AI is going to take over the world thing. And like, we're going to outsource jobs and stuff to technology and to robots and things." Like, dude, you can't replace humans, man. There's just something. I don't care how smart an AI gets. Like, man, I want to talk to a human being. I don't know. That's me. Okay, let's see. I think I already did the, yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe as you come in. Let's see. I think that's it. I needed to check off the box. Okay. We're going to look at a few things today that are going to be pretty good. We're going to start with Jack Posobiec. All right. We're also going to look at some court documents. Dude, that court document that Barron shared today, 100 and something pages. I thought it was an old one. Well, no, I looked at the date. It was 3/30/2026. Bro, Tyler Robinson's defense team is for sure fighting for him. I mean, all opinion otherwise, for me, is done. Like they're genuinely, I think, trying to mount a defense for him. And that whole timeline thing today is crazy. Yeah, I agree with Barron's conclusion that the timeline don't fit. There's so many things in this case where you're like, if the DNA don't fit, you must acquit. If the bullet don't fit, you must acquit. If the timeline don't fit, you must acquit. If the photos are enhanced, you must acquit. We always said that was Eagle Boy. I mean, we need to make Eagle Boy something popular on the internet. That is who that is. And in fact, I think there's 2 Eagle Boys. I think there is. There's like a dark complexion one, and then there's a totally light complexion one. I think they tried to make one look like the other by making one wear shoulder pads, like the ones in the 80s that like women had in their like suits, you know? I think some guys had them too in the 80s. He's clearly his shoulders are not naturally like that. I think they tried to make him look like the other person, but I mean, for sure not Tyler. We've been saying that since day one. It doesn't look like Tyler. No way did his parents look at that photo and go, "That's my son." And likewise with the freaking video of the kid of the Eagle Boy flying off the roof. Yeah, that's not freaking Tyler. And there's no way a parent identified their child off of that. If anything, a parent's going to err on the side of caution, and they're going to be like, "That's not my son. I can't tell who that is, but I could tell you that's not my son." There's no way the parents were like, "That is him." Man. So the whole 33-hour timeline seems to have crumbled and been dismantled for sure. There's no way that Utah County dude could get 3.5 hours away if he was notified at 8:04. There's just no way, you know. But the 6:25 or 6:35 Miranda right, being Tyler was read as Miranda's at 6:25, 6:35. I mean, here's the other thing though. It depends. Sometimes when someone's brought in for questioning and they read their Miranda, they're not under arrest yet. Sometimes they're not under arrest immediately. And so there is still a potential there where he's in a questioning room with his phone. There is a potential for that. It really depends if because like you'd have to have a warrant for the person's arrest like already. And if they did, then they could have confiscated the phone. We'd have to look back and when that warrant was issued. And if when he surrendered himself, they immediately placed him under arrest and subsequently read him his Miranda rights at that moment. Because if that's the case, then yeah, he wouldn't have his phone. But if they were also still trying to bait him, right, and see how stupid he was going to be, I don't know, like if he played some sort of exterior role in this, they're like, let's just put him in there and sweat it out, read him his rights. We'll leave him in the room. He's on camera. Leave him his phone. Let's see how stupid he could be. I don't know. There's a potential for that. There's a potential that didn't happen, though, too. So, but either way, I think the timeline is completely bonkers and that there's no way it happened on the official timeline that they're saying and that Governor Cox said and that Kash Patel said. And then they said Kash said a different time. He said 10 p.m. Yeah, it definitely happened on the 11th. Definitely didn't happen on the 12th. There's no way that happened on the 12th. They had the press conference that morning. It didn't happen later that day. It happened the day before. I'm positive of that now. All right. We're going to look at that document in a little bit because there's so much of good stuff in that document. If you guys have time on your own, go and download it and read it. It's nuts. It's nuts, but we're going to look at some important parts. All right. If you guys want, get your supers in as we go. I'll get to them as we go. All right. Without further ado, Jack Posobiec. Where is he? Where is it? There it is.
There was much ballyhoo online about a defense filing that took place in the Tyler Robinson case. And of course, this is the case determining the outcome of guilt, not guilt, right? On the question of who murdered Charlie Kirk.
Well, don't be coy, man. I mean, I haven't watched this whole thing, but like you've made it very clear. His parents turned him in. His prints are on the rifle. His parents turned him in. He admitted to it. He confessed. Jack Posobiec with like a psyop repetition, drilling it in, has not been shy about it at all, that he 100% thinks Tyler Robinson is guilty and should fry. Here's the thing, you guys. I thought now I think the Daily Wire may not have been as out of place to make the statement that they made. Okay. The original document that we read weeks ago, when the first portion of the ATF and FBI ballistics report came out, it said inconclusive. It did. It said inconclusive. But in the document we read yesterday on this show, it said did not match the rifle. That's what it said. It said it did not match the rifle. That's not the same as inconclusive. If it was the same, they would have just said inconclusive there too. So now I'm beginning to think maybe Daily Wire was reading that report and they're like TPUSA and all of them are hoping that everyone hasn't read that second report where it says did not match the rifle. And people are going to be referencing that previous document, which said inconclusive. And so I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of the Daily whatever Mail or whatever it is. I think it's Daily Mail. I can't speak on behalf of them, but I can say I initially thought they were referencing that other document that said inconclusive, but then we read last night and it said in the document that the report showed it did not match the rifle. So, nah. So that's kind of what he's talking about right here.
And that went hyper viral because of a completely out of context defense claim made by the Daily Mail. It was ridiculous. It was community noted, and many people shared it without any real, any real critical thinking.
No, and now I think that X needs to go reference that other document. It's a more recent document where it says did not match the rifle. So I don't really think Daily Mail. Like I said, I can't speak on behalf of them, but from reading the two separate documents, one said inconclusive. This later one said did not match the rifle. So I don't think it's really that crazy of a statement anymore.
But in reality, anyone who thought about it for 2 seconds when they were making this question about the claims regarding the ballistics report in Charlie's murder, they didn't actually look into what the article itself said or what the report itself said. Well, that was from the defense side.
Well, we read both. We read both. We did. The first one said inconclusive, Jack. It did. The second one said did not match the rifle.
Now the prosecutors have made their response, and they're pretty much slamming not only all of the arguments that the defense made in their briefing, but also they're coming up and pointing out that that once again, these are delay after delay after delay tactics, not only in the case itself, but in the preliminary hearing, which is set to take place just a little over 1 month away from today. I believe it's.
And if the judge makes the defense and Tyler Robinson proceed to the preliminary hearing with the very little evidence that they've been handed over, with the inappropriate amount of time for them to review, analyze, and have their own experts test, analyze themselves, and come up with their own findings, the judge is in on it, man. The fix is in. I think we will know for sure when the judge rules on whether or not to grant a continuance to the defense. We'll know if the fix is in. That'll decide it for me. If the judge says, nope, yep, we're going forward. Enough delay has been delayed. Oh, the poor grieving widow, she wants to proceed in a timely manner. No, like, dude, you can't. Bro, I read it's a 28-page document. The defense listed 5 different justifications on why and gave legal precedent for those justifications, whether that be they reference the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals. I don't know if that was the Washington Court of Appeals or the ones in Utah, but one of the Court of Appeals, and gave precedent that it would be infringing on Tyler Robinson's constitutional rights, because the preliminary hearing is seen as a pivotal part of whether or not he gets a fair trial, and that each little piece of it has to be done just right, especially for the defense, because in a capital case like this, where not only is his guilt on the line, his life is on the line. So they're trying two cases. The defense is defending two different cases at the same time. And I agree. That's an insane amount of responsibility. And I think everything they're doing is not trying to prolong and stretch this out and sandbag this case. Like literally, they haven't been given everything they need to mount an adequate defense for Tyler Robinson. And looking at this 108-page document, bro, I think they're fighting for him now. I think they were from the beginning. I think so much was out of context. I think I agree. Actually, I do agree with Barron today that initially when they were asking for there not to be cameras and videos and media inside the courtroom, we were like, that doesn't look good. That looks like they're not really trying to be above board here, and they're not being on the up and up, and they may be trying to sandbag Tyler and hush it. No, I think it's very evident when, I mean, I can scroll through it and show you guys pieces of it, but it's super long. That from the get-go, all the social media posts, all the news broadcasts you have, and I said this yesterday, Tyler Robinson is up against the full weight of the administration. Trump said he's guilty, right? Trump said he deserves the death penalty. J.D. Vance has weighed in on this. Governor Cox, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all the local police, everyone in very, very high influential, important, powerful positions regarding this case from the get-go were saying he's guilty. He's guilty. He deserves the death penalty. It's such an airtight case. We're going for the death penalty right out the gate. And so for that reason, they're like, dude, yeah. And I agree with Barron. He's like, when he goes up and he either says, I'm not going to testify or I'm going to testify, like that being live on TV, like that would be, people are going to read into it. They read into it every other previous time he appeared, whether or not he had the ballistic flak jacket on, or because he didn't smile, or because he did smile, or because he was emotionless. And it's just, man, it's nuts.
It's May 18th for the preliminary hearing. Because keep in mind, folks, Tyler Robinson has not even had, this is because of the way Utah politics works, or excuse me, the Utah courts work, that Tyler Robinson has not yet had to plead guilty or not guilty.
You guys, out of all of the pictures that they've decided to show, because this is Andrew Colvet's show, Real America's Voice. It's him and Erika Kirk's show. They've, took over from him and Charlie Kirk. So it's Andrew and Erika. They chose to pick photos of Tyler intentionally that are going to make him look the worst possible to the audience. He's smiling in this photo. We have no context for it, but anyone that watches their show and has already decided, like they have, that he's guilty, they're going to see this one way. Oh, he's smiling. No remorse, no emotion. He's a psychopath. He's a sociopath. He's a stone cold killer. He's guilty. Death penalty. It's so dishonest.
He hasn't even entered that formal plea yet. So the preliminary hearing, which is the hearing where the probable cause is brought, the charges are brought, the reason for charges is brought, and then the evidence is laid out, that hasn't even occurred yet. And this is the way Utah law works. But again, the lawyers keep trying over and over and over to delay his defense.
All right, let's go to that. Let's go to that. All right. Let me make it bigger for you guys, okay? And we're going to look at this in a minute. I pulled this clip up, right? This is referencing all of the different media appearances from like people in positions of power, people within the FBI, Donald Trump, different news media outlets. The defense is saying all of these things were broadcast and said as facts, and this is all destroyed any assumption of innocence for Tyler Robinson. And so it says also on September 15th, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino appeared on the Megyn Kelly show and announced that it appears from the information we've accumulated both forensically and digitally, and the comms between the two, and some of the statements of family and friends, that there was a relationship here that may have been beyond platonic, right? And so now here they're going to try to say like he was a leftist and he was in a same-sex relationship with someone that was transitioning, and that he was also on suicide watch, and significant concerns expressed by the suspect in the case about the gun and retrieving the gun. And man, it's just disgusting. Here it talks about the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, to use the killing of Charlie Kirk to target a vast domestic terror movement. Yeah, left-wing political organizations, right? All right, let me go down to the next page. It's 23. Right. And so this is them referencing all the different times where he did not, where his presumption of innocence was, jeopardized by all of the media that was just blasted in the beginning. Right. This picture, right? Let's see, 23. Where is the part that I wanted to read on page? Oh, it's mainly 24, but I think it's the top here. Sheriff Smith, you're at the press conference with the DA today. There is a huge amount of evidence against Tyler Robinson. DNA on the towel, the rifle, the cartridges. Is this beginning to seem like an open and shut case? Sheriff Smith, well, we would hope the investigation continues. We're not going to look at it as open and shut, but you're right. I agree with you 100%. The evidence is piling up and is becoming overwhelming, right? Undersheriff, we're looking at video right now of Tyler Robinson just short time ago appearing for the first court hearing. I was struck by the fact that he showed absolutely zero emotion, and there are reports he is no longer cooperating with the investigation. Can you confirm? He certainly doesn't seem to be showing any emotion right here. What's his demeanor in jail? Is he expressing any remorse of any kind? Under Sheriff Buffton, again, I haven't been down to visit him, so this is the photos that I'm seeing is the one you're seeing, and doesn't seem to be much emotion there, right? Sheriff Smith, the charging documents and the DA said today that Robinson's family had said that he'd grown more pro-gay and more pro-trans over the past, like all of this. It's just attacking his, they're trying to show that he had all this motive. He was a crazy leftist. And yeah, it's just destroying his presumption of innocence at all. Right. Let's go down to 28. Like even this, right? What is he wearing? What is Tyler Robinson wearing in his court video? Why Charlie Kirk shooting suspect needs a suicide smock in prison. I don't think he got to choose that. Like they opened the wardrobe and they're like, hey, bud, which one do you want? Like you don't get a choice. They choose what you put on. Morons. 28. Yeah, right here. So on September 22nd, 2025, President Trump delivered a speech at Mr. Kirk's memorial service telling thousands that the depraved assassin who planned and executed Charlie Kirk's killing has been arrested and charged with capital murder. God willing, he will receive the full and ultimate punishment for his horrific crime. Are you kidding me? President Trump upgraded his personal opinions into official government policy, writing in a national security presidential memorandum issued on that date that even in the aftermath of the horrifying assassination of Charlie Kirk, some individuals who adhered to the alleged shooter's ideology embraced and cheered this evil murder while actively encouraging more political violence. Man, all right, now we got to go all the way down. Sorry for how fast. Where's the bar? I can't see the bar. Okay, I gotta scroll down. I'm sorry, guys. It's on page 69. And then the last one is 70. But like I said, there's a lot of really, really interesting stuff in here. You guys should download it. It's online and read through it. We're just going to hit a couple parts and then we're going to get back to some videos. So just give me a second. It's page 69 that I'm trying to get to. Right. All right. Yeah. So the Seventh Circuit's decision in Chicago Council Laws, Boyer is helpful on this point as well. Disclosures concerning such matters are fraught with almost incurable prejudice. They could infringe on a defendant's Fifth Amendment privilege in view of the natural tendency to draw an adverse inference from the assertion of the privilege and the careful attempts to avoid comment about such a choice during a trial. Yeah. So like the defense did such a great job pointing out that Tyler hasn't been given a fair shake from the beginning. From the beginning. Let's see. The state will not be able to produce such proof in this case. Bates 07 indicates that on the evening of his arrest, Tyler Robinson declined to be interviewed without having an attorney present. A video of the encounter and Bates at timestamp indicates the following. So what happened to this video? So they had it. They're talking about the video here, right? And so here's the timestamp that Barron pointed out is what he thinks that is the defense's attempt to get this information to us, right? So Tyler, before we begin, I'm just going to read your Miranda rights. All right. And he goes, okay. And then he reads the rights. Okay. And then he says, okay, so are you good to proceed? I'd love to talk to you. I'd like to speak with my legal counsel. I'm hoping for a fellow in Utah named Doug Terry. And then the officer goes, okay. Tyler says, told he's pretty good. He's a pretty good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him. But I think his office is closed for the night. You guys, tell me this. Tell me this. Let me go back here for a second. If his parents were positive that he did it and they thought he was guilty, are they really going to help him after the fact? If they're the ones that ID'd him and said, yeah, that's my son on the roof. Yep, that's my son walking up the tunnel and up the stairs. Yet they believe he's guilty. So now they're going to help him find an adequate and good lawyer in the area to mount an adequate defense? No. The fact that they are helping him, in my opinion, is just one of so many points of they do not think he did this. I don't think he admitted to guilt at all or that he confessed to anything. And remember, Governor Cox said at one point, he admitted or implied. That was his sentence. That was his wording. He admitted or implied guilt. Okay. Thank you, Crystal. Hey, I read your comment and your everything you wrote later. I get why you wanted to share that with me. I appreciate it. Thank you. From yesterday, the Reddit article. Let's see. We got Sonia here. Okay. Yeah, but the jury is going to be told not to watch the news. So it doesn't matter what the court of public opinion is or becomes. I think, are you kidding, right? Yeah, they won't watch the news in the future. Everyone watched the news in September, though. The damage is done. The jury hasn't been selected. So all the potential jurors are watching all of this still. So, I mean, they've already seen, they've already heard everything. They've all been tainted. The entire public has been tainted. There's not one person living under a rock that hasn't heard all of the Fed slop BS on Tyler. All right, let me go back. Oh, let me make it big for you guys. Where did I leave off? Told he's pretty good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him, but I think his office is closed for the night. And I think that's right. That would be on the Wednesday night, the 11th, right? And then the cop says, okay. And then Tyler says, but until I've had the opportunity to speak with someone, I would like to remain silent. These are the facts that the governor, the FBI director, and the FBI deputy director, and every other law enforcement officer who told the media that Mr. Robinson was refusing to cooperate with law enforcement knew. They knew, or they should have known. Yet, not one government official who made such statements or any of the electronic media persons who reported such statements ever mentioned that Mr. Robinson had a Fifth and Sixth Amendment right to remain silent until his attorney was present, and that listeners should not draw an adverse inference from such a silence. I agree. Silence at the time of arrest and after receiving Miranda warnings violated the due process clause of the Fourth Amendment. The continued attempts by the prosecutor to put the defendant's silence before the jury after his having been advised of his right to remain silent amounts to prosecutorial misconduct. The references to defendant's silence are a fundamental error, which could have affected the result and therefore prejudicial. Yeah, I agree. An individual may decline an officer's request without fearing prosecution. We have consistently held that a refusal to cooperate without more does not furnish the minimal level of objective justification needed for a detention or seizure. I agree. Another type of prejudicial electronic media coverage that gives rise to a presumption of prejudice, in this case, is the electronic media's insistence on giving prominent attention to demeaning and grossly unfair characterizations. Yeah, I think that was the last part I wanted to share with that. All right. Let's go back to here.
Team attempts to delay. And what's interesting is that the case, and we brought this up last week, the situation regarding this ballistics report, they said, oh, well, the ballistics, it's, we haven't been able to get a match yet between the rifle and the bullet fragment that was recovered during Charlie's autopsy. What's going on with that? Well, as it turns out, that further testing hasn't been able to occur.
You guys, they show a picture of this rifle. This was this week. This was either yesterday or today. That's not the rifle. Why are they still showing that rifle and attributing it to the shooting of Charlie Kirk? Maybe because many people in the public have not found out that that's not the rifle. And people just automatically connect the two dots. How dishonest is that? Erika Kirk is okay with this. This is their show. Erika Kirk and Andrew Colvett. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. How dishonest is that? How many times have we seen Erika, Andrew, and Blake behave in a way that is completely misleading and dishonest, only to seek public conviction of Tyler before they get the conviction in court, so they can get the conviction in court? Erika immediately forgave him and multiple times when asked said, yes, I do. Do you really believe it was? Yes, I do. Yeah, yes, I do. Why? How? Because I've seen the evidence. I've seen it. I've seen the autopsy. And I know it. Bro. Anyone that continues to defend Erika, TPUSA, Andrew Colvett, Blake Neff, Mikey McCoy, at this point, in my opinion, they're like accomplices after the fact. They just are. Because there's no way Gary Melton is just that dumb. There's no way Andrew Wilson is just that dumb. There's no way. So then what is it? How could they ignore logic and reason to the point where they can get up in front of their audience and declare as a statement of fact that Tyler Robinson's guilty of this? It's just so, I don't know. Evil? Yeah, that's the word.
Because of a delay in the case of the bullet fragment that was caused by the defense's own objection in the first place. And so the state's responding here saying this is completely ridiculous.
It's not, dude, because the bullet jacket doesn't match the rifle. Okay, the initial report said inconclusive. This one said does not match the rifle. All right, Jack, I can't watch and listen to you for too long. It's just like barf. All right, let's go here. We got a hidden video of Blake and Neff. Let's go. I think it started a little bit before. Let's hear it. Gatekeeping and censorship.
Hey, Chris, thank you for having me on. You're absolutely right. I think tragically it is a very real vindication of the role I know my own boss played. Charlie was so good at, he put a big emphasis on keeping the coalition together and also keeping them, the line I like to use, front towards enemy. You focus on what the left is doing and how you bring them down, and so focused on practical results. He was always following the next state level election that mattered, whether it was Wisconsin Supreme Court or some state level referendum and all of that. And it does really seem like we've gotten so much distraction from that. I remember being very frustrated when we were approaching the Virginia and New Jersey off-year election.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this
because they're very good at picking their enemies.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing that I've really grew to appreciate about Charlie that I already appreciate internal debate, he also knew where the boundaries were. And it seems like, again, you know, censorship, not good, but gatekeeping is different. A political movement needs a little bit of gatekeeping, which I know is not a popular thing to say in some quarters, but he was able to keep those boundaries, I think, in a reasonable and productive place. Have those boundaries just disappeared? Is that really what we're seeing?
Sadly, I do feel they have for a lot of people, at least. I think there is this extremely lamentable willingness to indulge extremely reckless individuals who will, obviously we'll just say conspiracy theories, very wild. Like it's not even just that they like conspiracy theories, it's that they manage to make everything about their conspiracy theory.
Who do you guys think they're talking about? You think they're talking about Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent? Yeah, I think they are.
And it's all they want to talk about. And as you say, Charlie wanted a big coalition, and so he would have to be aware of what was going on and to sometimes try to engage with it. Let's just go with an elephant in the room. Charlie knew that there was a lot of division about Israel and the American right, for example. So he had a roundtable discussion with young people at our Student Action Summit last.
Wait till you hear how Blake frames Charlie's reason for doing this. Blake is evil. Blake is knowingly twisting why Charlie did what he did, because Charlie said why. And he told Tucker, and he told John Mappin or Mike Mappin or John Mappin. He told who else? I know there's another one. In the letter that Tucker and John referenced to BB, this was an attempt for Charlie to prove to his donors, to show them that what he's been trying to tell them is the facts. This is the reality. Gen Z and many others, because I'm not Gen Z, have shifted on our support for Philly, and we're not coming back. We're just not. And so his reason for doing this is so you can't shoot the messenger. Well, actually, I wasn't even trying to use a play on words there. They really did. But they didn't use a bullet. They used a Rode mic on his lapel. So they didn't like that he couldn't just shut up and do what he's told and just force everyone to start agreeing with him. Like, Charlie's a smart dude. He's like, dude, the youth, they're going to see me getting up here trying to defend Philly. They're going to walk the other way. I'm going to lose all credibility, all respect. I'll have no influence. I'll have no impact. I can't. His conscience wouldn't let him. And he's like, dude, I'm going to do this. They're going to see it straight from the mouths of the students themselves. But Blake is going to twist why Charlie did this.
Summer, where he was just asking them, okay, what do you actually feel about Israel compared to what older conservatives are saying? And we even had that debate on stage between Josh Hammer and Dave Smith. And what Charlie was trying to do is he was not trying to pick a winner between these. He was actually trying to, I don't know if you'd know what a Hegelian synthesis was, but he was kind of trying to go for that, where he's going to say, guys, the position that I know was super common in our party 15 years ago is not going to hold, but I don't want it to careen off into conspiracy theories, into anti-Semitism, into this like hate-based, resentment-driven ideology. And so he was always trying to build out a new posture, which he would say, in our party, you should be allowed to criticize the specifics of our relationship with Israel. You should be allowed to criticize Benjamin Netanyahu or the actions of the Israeli government because it's a foreign government and a foreign politician, but you're not allowed to turn that into weird conspiracy theories. You're not allowed to turn that into anti.
All right, I'm going to pause this for a second so that I can interact with MRK perspective. Let me see, where did you put it up? We have great mods, you guys, by the way. So like they know that I can't see everything in the chat. And so important things they'll send to me. I think it's this one, right? Yeah. What did you think about the video I sent you? Did you get anything from it? Yeah, 100%. I didn't want to play it, right? Definitely not the video portion. And the audio, and I'm just going to synthesize, right? Kind of what happened. Unless if you guys want to hear the audio in the chat, let me know if you guys want to hear the conversation between MRK perspective and I think it's your dad, right? MRK, who actually has a lot of experience with shape charges, right? Can you throw that in the chat real quick? Do you guys want to hear the audio conversation? You do? Okay. All right. Let me pull it up. And then I won't show the video and then I'll talk about it. But let's see. Here it is. All right, hold on. Let me make sure I'm not showing the picture. Okay, so it's in this, it's there though. All right, cool. And I'm gonna hit play in a second. Basically, I think it confirms how likely and how possible a micro shape charge is to be put in a very small device like a Rode Wireless Go, a microphone that Charlie had. And exactly what John Bray has said, it is meant to do he says it exactly, right? That it has to have a standoff position first, right? So that would be the primer explosion, that there were two explosions, right? The standoff, so it has to be separated from the thing that it's penetrating. And then whether it's like the V cone or I think it's your dad, right? Explains it in very technical terms, just like John Bray, that it would literally like melt, like bore through what it's supposed to penetrate. And that you definitely could kill someone with it. And yeah, all right, I'll just play it.
You use like a metal disc, like, and depending on what you're cutting or trying to shoot through. It's either copper, it could be a bunch of different metals, usually soft metals, and the explosive comes forward, and when it gets to the cone, it focuses the blast in to a really small spot. It creates a molten jet of hot gas and metal. Mm-hmm. Using a metal disc to punch a hole through something. Okay, and then
sorry, I had to turn it up because it is a little windy. Let me just check. Can you guys all hear it? Can you guys hear the audio good? Let me go down. We are live. Yes, we are live. Yeah, I'm going to keep playing it. Can you guys hear everything? Can you hear the audio? Okay, cool. It's a little windy. I have to turn up my soundboard so you guys can hear it. But yeah, so that, what was the part where he was talking about the disc and that it's meant to penetrate what's in front of it, right? Period.
You can do the same thing like with what we call a linear shape charge, where it's not a cone, but it's a V shape, and it could be long, right? Or it could be like, this long, and it's the same thing. You detonate it from the rear, so the blast comes forward, and then when it gets to the cone collapses into a really
but what about like miniature shape charges?
Well,
well, how does that work? Like, how small are they?
Same principle. It could be like about that big.
But what's the smallest they can go?
I don't know. I mean, you could, in theory, you could make it as small as you need it to be, but at some point, you're not going to get the effect that you need. But the point is to get. The other thing you have to do with a shape charge, usually there has to be a standoff between what you're trying to apply the explosive force to, so that.
But what makes it go like boom?
Explosive, like.
Yeah, but how is it reacted? Like, what causes the reaction?
Detonator.
So, like a button.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, it could be fired electrically or non-electrically.
Like, just like something that you press.
Yeah, or it could be done non-electrically, like with just a fuse.
So keep in mind, there are multiple different technologies when using to ignite and trigger the process of explosion. It could be a fuse, like if you're I forget, is it whatever the term is for people that do like demolition and that would use shape charges to explode things, whether they be some sort of engineers, that they would probably use in certain settings a fuse. But he said also would be an electrical trigger where it'd be like wirelessly. Right? There's no connection. And you can detonate it with like a button or I don't know, like something you squeeze or twist like this underneath your arm.
A lit fuse. As long as the blasting cap, whether it's an electric cap or a non-electric.
What if there's like an electrical connection?
Well, that's fine. You just have to have a long enough wire so that you're not in the danger area when it detonates.
Right.
But you could also use radio controlled firing devices too.
There it is. You can also use radio controlled devices as well.
How small of a shape charge would you need to like kill someone?
To what?
To like kill someone.
To kill someone, like just without like not being in a vehicle or.
Yeah, like literally just.
Not very big. It's pretty small.
Like how small?
I mean,
Smaller?
No, I mean, there's only so small you can go, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's. But the other thing is that when you have to get that optimum standoff distance between what you're what you're shooting at and where the charge is,
Uh,
so that when that focused blast.
When they're talking about the standoff distance, okay, that is when John Bray was saying that there's like a primer explosion, because if the microphone is resting against Charlie's body, right? MRK's dad is talking about there has to be a standoff between the shape charge when it goes and it ignites and it begins. There has to be some sort of space, a standoff between the explosion and the shape charge before and whatever it's trying to penetrate. And that's why we do see like 2 explosions on Charlie that day, right? We see the first one where you see the shirt puff out and it puffs out in the back. And then you see the next one when we see the mic magnet twist. And then that's when this side of the shirt lifts up. And it's because the mic magnet stays connected, but the Rode mic underneath is the part where the battery is, the internal hardware, and the explosive material. And that shot it across. And that's what lifted the shirt. And that's when it went into the neck. We also, I spoke with John Bray. We are going to have him back on. I reached out to another pretty well-known creator, one that has been here before, to see if he wanted to join as well for that discussion. Maybe. We'll see. That'd be really cool. Let's see. Yeah. Did you know John Bray's been on the show? Yeah, and it's called Accurate Energetic Solutions is the plant in Tennessee that exploded. Yeah, we've covered that. You could go back and look at the episode with John Bray. But timely post, John Bray is going to be coming back on because as of right now, there's a couple alternative theories moseying around. One is somebody mentioned, is it possible that the bullet could have hit the cross or the other pendants and then deflected, and that's what made the shirt jump up, and then the bullet hit him in the neck? Yeah. John says no, and I agree. Just like physics, right? Equal and opposite. A bullet coming in this way. First of all, the necklace, I'm pretty sure, is silver. Okay, it's a silver necklace. It's a soft metal. It's not a hard metal. It's a soft metal. A massive bullet, a 30-06, traveling at like 2,000 something pounds of foot-pounds or whatever when it would have reached Charlie. I've seen all the ballistic tests. It goes through steel. It goes through cinder block. It goes through everything. Nothing stops these bullets, not even frangible rounds. Frangible rounds go through everything too. A silver little pendant necklace isn't going to deflect the bullet up, number one. Number two, it's not going to deflect the bullet up and then on top of that, make the pendant go from down, jump up. Explain that, right? Like the bullet's coming at this 9-degree angle from supposedly the Losi Center roof, and it hits the pendant, which is down here. It's coming in this direction. Why is it going to hit the pendant and then the pendant's going to jump straight up on the left side of the neck? Because Val, the wrestler or whatever, is trying to say that. First of all, he started off way wrong. He said that the necklace was resting over here. He had to get it over here, first of all, for him to even say that it like shot up here. Okay, it's not off to the left. It's like dead center. You could see it in the pictures. Anyway, even then, even if it was off to the side, it's the bullet's not going to come in here, push the bullet this way, a soft silver pendant, deflect the bullet, and then the necklace is going to jump straight up. It's going to go equal opposite force. Come on. But anyway, so we're going to have John Bray on. We're going to go over all the different theories that are going around right now. I also want him to discuss Blake Bednard's theory that it is the necklace. I think Blake, and I don't know where Barron is on it. He said he thinks, I mean, he talked about it a little. I don't know his overall conclusion, like if he actually thinks it's the mic or the pendant, or he's in like the middle and he's like, it could be either. We're going to have John Bray on and we're going to talk about all the different theories, why he thinks they're not possible, not plausible, why the most plausible is the exploding mic. Okay. All right. Let's go back to this one. Okay.
Semitism, because that is not what our movement is about. And Charlie was very good at navigating that, but it does feel, frankly, like a lot of that is breaking down. I think there's a person all of us can think of where every day on her show, she's pushing wild 1800s Masonic conspiracy theory stuff. And if we're going to say that's a valid member of the right, well, we're going to deserve to lose a ton of races and a ton of status in the American people's eyes, because they'll
Do you want to know what's disgusting? Candace is talking about these fringe theories, in Blake's opinion, these wild conspiracies, which are just facts. Like Freemasons are real, secret societies are real, people in power collude together to, consolidate power and to hand power down within their ranks. It's just a reality. But Candace Owens is talking about these theories in the context of Charlie Kirk's assassination and people possibly being involved in the assassination and cover up. And this dude, when talking about those theories, what he cares about is how Candace, being a person of the right and a Republican, that her spouting these theories is going to hurt our possible future elections. Ugh. He's just so gross, man. We're going to get to more, but why don't we just go straight here so that we can reference what was it that Charlie was doing? Let's hear.
The State Department's stated goal that we were working on negotiations with Iran. You can say they wouldn't have panned out. You can say that maybe they were imminently about to collapse, but we were still in active negotiation. And yet Israel launches Operation Rising Lion to go in and strike Iran while we're mid-negotiation.
How many of you guys would say you think Israel got us into that conflict? You would say yes. You would not say so much?
I think we were willing to join that conflict. I don't think we...
Now, let's go to the next one, which is... Let me find the dude, the young guy. Hold on. I also like hearing Charlie speak. Let's see what he says here.
That would support our generation being able to afford homes rather than military strikes for Israel.
What else? What would you want to see from their government? If their government came out and said, we have a 5-year plan to decouple from U.S. aid, would that help people's view of Israel? If they said, hey, we want to be self-reliant.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think that would help?
Yes.
If they're like,
that certainly a nation state doing today, we would see as a bit of a problem. When it comes to sending these, what you said, $300 billion
19, yeah, just with inflation, yeah,
to any foreign country, all I can think about is across our own southern border, we have an actual military in the form of the cartel that kill thousands of people, and that's leaving out the hundreds of thousands of Americans that have died to drug overdoses due to drugs that have come across our southern border. And it's insulting that that money goes anywhere else because we have such a huge problem here.
Yeah, I want to kind of flip this.
I bet you do.
Inseparable from what the
yeah,
left
do you guys
does.
think it's anti-Semitic to say you don't like Bibi Netanyahu?
No, I don't believe so.
There is a rise of Jew hate, but it's not the majority mover. I think the majority mover of Gen Z and Gen Z conservatives is exhaustion.
Precisely.
Would you guys think that's a fair categorization?
Yes, for sure.
I mean, again, there is like an isolated, like weirdo, I hate Jews. We don't like that. No one in decent society wants that. But instead, it's kind of like, can we just, I don't know, make it so I can buy a home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or like deport people?
Exactly.
Yeah. Does that resonate with you?
Oh yeah, exactly.
You're not anti-Israel. You don't wish them harm. You're
problem that I see amongst the people I'm around, I do see more like general disdain towards, just being honest, Jewish people.
That's correct.
Just because they're constantly being told that you hate Jews. And it's like, fine. If you're going to say I hate Jews over and over and over again, like if I'm going to be convicted of the crime, I might as well do the crime. I fear the same thing happens with all the talk of race, the more we talk about it, the more we bring it up, the more racism actually happens.
This is like, I try to tell, thank you for saying this. Like, because like, I'm trying to tell these people and they're like, we must get more aggressive. And so like, let me ask a question. If we were to remove, like if people said what Tucker said is anti-Semitic, I don't hold that view, but it's like a lot of people on Twitter are like calling us out and like, whatever, that's not going to happen. But if we were to cancel Tucker, would anti-Semitism increase or decrease?
I think increase, because that means any supporter of Tucker Carlson's statement therefore makes them anti-Semites.
Exactly. Association, 100%.
Exactly.
But the binary that's presented is that if you don't passionately talk about it, you are a hater.
So we know for a fact how Charlie felt about Tucker, about them calling him an anti-Semite. And yeah, it's hard to watch him sometimes. I get really angry. Can you guys see that in this interview with the kids, he did his tick like so many times. And it's so obvious that when he does it, it pulls on this whole side of his neck and even down into that part of his chest. And so for anyone that knows clips like this exist, like Jesse and all these other people out there, I'm not even going to name their names anymore. I'm so over it, that he didn't have a tick, to not even address that could be what that was that day. No, they say for a fact that it's a squib and it's a prosthetic and that it couldn't be anything else. That's how dishonest these people are. Because if they were just honest, they could be like, look, he did have a tick, and they could show pictures and videos of him while he's doing his tick and go, it could be the tick. But then they could say what they think it is. But they could say, but I think this is not the tick and this is what it is. They don't do that. They don't even mention the tick. They don't even bring it up. They don't show any videos or photos of it. They say it is 100% a prosthetic, and that's all it is. That's dishonest. Christ is risen indeed. Yes, he is. I won a membership to your channel while I was off YouTube during Lent. Felt grateful even if I didn't utilize it. Glad to see you're growing. Spotted you on Zach Costello's live. Yeah, I like Zach. I'm glad you're back. Christ is risen 100%. Thank you for joining us. Always be true. Let me make sure we got one more. We got Glenn Coco. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Iranian hacker stuff? Confirming shape charge. Yeah, I mean, it could go either way on whether or not those are authentic or not. I think, honestly, that it's authentic. I really do. I think Kash Patel is so corrupt, so dishonest. Barron showed multiple clips of him lying today. Him lying. He played the clips today of him lying back in September and October. We'll look at a clip of Dan Bongino here in a second as well on Megyn Kelly. These people are not pursuing justice. They're not defending and upholding the rule of law, which is one of the things that Trump ran on too, right? Like, we need to establish the rule of law, law-abiding as citizens. Okay, part of that is also not convicting an innocent dude. Yeah, convicting. Well, okay, what about all the people you're letting off with Jeffrey? Yeah, it's just, for anyone to defend the administration at this point, and I know that might rub some people the wrong way. I agree with Tucker. I don't necessarily think Trump is senile like Biden was, right? I do think he's completely lost touch with his base. and what we want as an American people. And I definitely think his crazy rant on Easter, where he's dropping foul language, talking about making a whole civilization disappear off the face of the earth, referencing, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah, I think he is subtly threatening to use a nuke, whether that be like a battlefield nuke or a real nuke. Yeah. And threatening to bomb bridges and, electric, nuclear power plants. That's attacking civilians. Yeah. Imagine if that was done to us. Does that really affect like politicians and the government? The military? Does that hurt the military? No. I mean, in a roundabout way, it really hurts us. It hurts all of us. We can't travel. We can't leave. People in major cities that are surrounded by bodies of water wouldn't be able to leave major cities. They'd be stranded. No power, no heat, no electricity. Everything we use these days, it's all electric. Without that, dude. So I agree 100% with Tucker. And I think listening to Charlie, they agreed on way more than they ever disagreed on. All right, let's go to... All right, let me just hit the timestamps that my beautiful wife found. So we did 4. Let's go to 8, and then we're going to move on to the next. Did I share this tab? No, I didn't. I almost did. Almost pulled a bear.
I don't think necessarily liked Ben Shapiro that much personally. I know he would sometimes make fun of him in our chats, and yet he clearly saw him as an ally of our cause in a huge number of ways.
No.
They worked together in a lot of ways. He was a rival of his. He wanted his show to be more successful.
He for sure was a rival. And in fact, Andrew said, this interview right here, look at, this is the interview that Charlie was forced to do the day before his assassination. And Charlie was mad at Andrew for scheduling it and making him do it. He didn't want to do it. He asked to get out of it.
Than his, and we would go on each. He would go on Ben's show. Ben would come on his show, and they would focus on the issues where they were aligned together because there was a lot they could accomplish together. And now you look at in comparison, where I've had to endure all these shows that they took the fact that my friend and boss was murdered by a left-wing zealot, and we have all the evidence in the world that
you shouldn't be saying a freaking word, you little scumbag. You are a little man. Bro. He's a freaking witness. He shouldn't be saying a freaking thing. He was your boss. Yeah. Bro, he wasn't your friend. You said it on your own show. He never even hung out with you. He never hung out with any of you. The only time he was ever alone with you and had any meaningful time was when he was forced to be in a locked freaking cylinder, a fuselage of a freaking plane on a travel trip, and he didn't have a choice. That's the only time he spent with you guys. You didn't even know Erika. You didn't know any of them. You guys aren't friends. You sure as heck aren't family. He was your freaking boss, and that was it.
That is what happened. We saw the left loudly celebrate what happened after Charlie died, and it was this moment of unity that was useful. We had a huge revival. We still see the revival, but then some people thought, how can I use this? Well, this big guy got taken out of the picture. How can I maneuver myself into his position? Well, I need to start recklessly pushing insane theories that Charlie's friends,
So just say it, bro. You're such a simp, dude. You're not even a real dude. hopefully you end up saying it. You're talking about Candace, but you should be talking about and attacking freaking Ben Shapiro. He's the one that paid $1 million and bought his way into the organization that Charlie never let him into. And he headlined the event and attacked Candace, Megan, and Tucker at all of those three people. Charlie was united on this Philadelphia issue at the end. He had Tucker on the speaking engagement, even though the donors pulled the money and he was going to have Candace on. He had Megan on the show where they said exactly how they felt about this. And you're saying that no, that the people trying to steal his legacy and move in on his space is Candace and Tucker and Megan. You're disgraceful. It was Ben and you and Erika and Andrew.
Employees, his wife, everyone around him, they actually were controlling him the whole time, and then they conspired to murder him for some reason. And I think most of the people pushing this, I frankly don't think actually believe it. I think they just view it as you say, a way to get a lot of attention and engagement. And
you're so pro. You guys, this is so hard. I want to reach through the screen. Oh, so Candace and Tucker and Megan and me and Barron and anyone else and Zach, we're all doing it for just the money. We're doing it for the attention. We're doing it for the money. No. It's because it is so clear Tyler didn't do it. It is so freaking clear that Charlie wasn't killed with a bullet. Tyler wasn't even on campus that day. They rushed the arrest. They framed him. The court documents continue to reveal the bullet didn't even match the rifle, dude. He didn't admit guilt. He didn't confess. He wasn't not cooperating. He said he wanted to remain silent until he had his lawyer present. That's literally what we're allowed to do. And you shouldn't presume any guilt because of that. That's just one of our amendments. We're allowed to do that, dude. If you knew the law.
They see it as a way to win some factional struggle. It's all a status game for them. And if this is what persists on the right, if we don't find a way to resolve this, it's going to nuke the movement.
It's going to hurt the elections, guys. Oh, the midterms, not the midterms. Oh, JD won't get in. Erika and JD won't become the next president and vice president. Bro, we don't care. Okay, I'll vote again once we find out who actually killed him and they get arrested and convicted and sentenced to life or to death. Okay? What you're trying to say you think Tyler deserves. No, who actually did this and everyone involved, all the accomplices, whether it was before, during, or after the fact, are all arrested and charged. That's when I participate in politics again. Okay? Or when Trump is arrested because he's a warmongerer. He lied to us. Jeffrey is still, all of his accomplices not being charged. All of those showed, oh my gosh. It starts with a D. Deposed, right? The people that were deposed, nothing came of that. Bill and Hillary and Wexner, that was just for show. Look, we're really doing something, guys. Yeah, no, the only measure that you actually are doing something is when someone gets arrested, charged, and convicted. No drain the swamp. That didn't happen. Now we're at war. You're sending young American men and women of service over to die for a foreign country. Many people on the show have family members that are being deployed right now. And you sit there and defend him and say Charlie would be defending this too. You are disgusting.
That this is not a path to them actually getting office. They'll kind of roll their eyes at this sort of thing, and maybe that'll reduce the overall power and reach of it. Or maybe we'll get lucky and all these guys will destroy each other, because a lot of them are very dramatic individuals who love feuding, and they love feuding most of all with their friends and allies. And so maybe they'll rip each other to shreds and do some favors for us.
Yeah, I think we're underestimating, or rather, we're overestimating the longevity of a lot of these figures. And the analogy that comes to mind for me is, the alt-right.
We don't care. Who are you? What are you doing here, bro? I'm not even going to listen to the rest of your statement because you are irrelevant. All right, who is this? Yes, this is what I want to share, you guys. All right, so okay, let me set this up because I freaking love Tucker, man. And I love who he has on. The guy that he has on, his name is Nathan Apfel. He was on the Sean Ryan show. I sent the Sean Ryan interview with Nathan Apfel because, I used to be in ministry, like I said, and I have family members in ministry. And all Nathan has tried to do is expose corrupt pastors, and that the tax code that was set up, the nonprofit tax code for churches, was never, so the church was never designed to be a capitalistic endeavor. But many wealthy businessmen and lawyers found out that the tax writing on how churches are structured, it is perfect. It's perfect for hiding money and creating wealth. He said he believes that because of the way it's designed and written, no pastor can enter in to this and remain not compromised. I think small churches that always stay small and never grow big, I think can avoid that. But any church that ends up growing to size and continues to grow and begins to look like a business, like a corporation, wealth, where they continue to increase their salaries year after year. They give themselves housing allowances. They create a real estate portfolio. They're flying privately. And that's like the worst, right? That's like the Baptist guy down in Dallas or Joel Osteen or Kenneth Copeland. But there's other big ones too. Okay. I grew up at a pretty big church in Vista, California called North Coast. Chris Brown and not Chuck Smith. That's Calvary. I forget the older guy's name. Larry Osborne. This church grew and grew and grew. It is massive. Massive. They make so much money. And yeah, okay, they do some good things. Well, we're going to listen to Nathan and how he breaks it down. Yeah, it's like they take in 20 carats, right, from the congregants, and then they use 1 carat to do the thing that they're saying that the money's for, and then they keep the other 19.
Not do. I will submit to a law higher than my own desire. That's the first step towards civilization. And it is the first and absolutely mandatory step toward averting the true disaster that is coming.
Hold on.
And we office last winter, right after the inauguration, and she introduced herself to me and said, I'm the head of the Religious Liberty.
All right, so they're talking about Paula White. All right. And I am only going to play a couple clips of this because, for one, I don't want YouTube to freaking end our live in the live. But also, I want you guys to watch it in full. And you guys should go back to the Sean Ryan, Nathan Apfel episode and watch that because that's amazing. Oh, and I never finished my thought that I sent this to like certain family members, and one of them got so defensive, man. It was insane. I was like, you didn't watch the video. you didn't watch the video. You're attacking things that didn't happen. Like you didn't watch the video. Attacking Nathan. It's crazy. Just listen and judge for yourself.
Commissioner or something. And I remember thinking, I'm so glad there is such a thing because we need it. We need religious liberty almost more than anything. And I said, I felt moved to say, just like escaped from my lips, thank you. And I really hope that you will do something to protect the Christians of the Middle East, particularly in the Levant. There are a lot of great Christians there and they're being hurt and nobody seems to care. And she like recoiled. I remember thinking she doesn't like this at all. That was my first and only experience with Paula White. And so I've wondered ever since, who is Paula White and how did she become the president's main spiritual advisor? You told me this morning that you went to church on Easter Sunday, which was yesterday, at her church.
Mm-hmm.
And so before you...
Okay, and he's going to tell us, and I'm going to play it. But just put in context, this woman, Paula White, she is not Christian. She maybe was at one point, okay? And Nathan even extends the courtesy like he does even to like Kenneth Copeland, Joel Osteen, and I don't know, the other big one. The one that Erika is going down to for the Make Heaven Crowded event in Dallas in April, it's that guy, that something Baptist, something church in Dallas. He affords them the courtesy that he believes that when they entered into ministry, that they actually entered into it honestly, that they wanted to help people and they wanted to preach the gospel and they wanted to shepherd a flock and they wanted to do ministry. But that along the way, the way this is set up perverts them. And not all, right? There's good pastors out there, but you have to be like so diligent to guard against this because it's just so easy to turn your nonprofit church into a money-making machine. And the temptation is so great. And what we've seen is pastors are flawed just like all of us with temptations and vices. Paula White should not be advising anyone spiritually, especially Donald Trump. And the fact that he selected her, bro, he's not Christian. I was thinking about this today. You guys know the slogan, Make America Great Again? Like, that's an old slogan. He didn't come up with that, right? That's not him. He borrowed that. You do know that what that is tapping into is the idea that the America that we grew up with, we miss and we want it back. All he had to do is speak to us, the conservative Republican, population, the things that we cared about the most. Has he made America great again, even in 2016 from his first administration? No. Did he drain the swamp? No. Did he prosecute anyone for the Jeffrey files? No. Has he made America great again now? No. Did he keep us out of a foreign war? No. Is he a man of his word? No. Is he an honest man? No. Godly man? No. Easter Sunday dropping F-bombs. Easter Sunday talking about wiping out women, children, elderly, wiping their civilization off the face of this earth, mocking other people's God. You guys saw the tweet, right? Here, let's jump here real quick. We'll do this one first, and then we'll go back. Okay, yeah. Let's go here first.
Latest response to President Donald Trump's deadline to open the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian leaders now say they'll take immediate and proportionate action if President Trump follows through on his threats. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Annie Yu. That deadline is now 4 hours away.
All right. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, no, you don't, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail. No, the opposite happened. You radicalized more. You got more extreme people in power now. Maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. That's tonight, you guys. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. And then doesn't he say, does this go on to the next part?
Take a look here. The president ignited backlash after posting on social media, warning a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran does not reach a deal by 8 p.m. Eastern. Vice President J.D. Vance says negotiations are happening.
If the Iranians don't come to the table and they stay committed to terrorism, to terrorizing their neighbors, not just Israel, but of course their Arab neighbors too, then the economic situation in Iran is going to continue to be very, very bad. And frankly, it will probably
I don't know. I have a feeling Charlie would be disappointed in JD. That's just my thoughts.
Western civilization. Will you stand for freedom, for truth, and for the God of our fathers? Then, my friends, go to the polls in the weekend. Stand with Viktor Orban because he stands for you and he's
Go vote. Everybody, go vote. Let's see.
Head spinning and the whole entire world, probably. The truth says a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will, he says. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. So everybody online who has been anti-war, which I consider myself to be a part of, by the way, is...
Let me read that, Mystic. You know, I was talking about you and your family, right? When I said good people of this show have family members that are being deployed to this freaking war. Mystic says, my godson's a Marine, fixing to be deployed for the first time. I got a little upset when his dad, also a Marine, told me. So he said, he's a Marine. That's what Marines do. I'll be grateful if y'all would please keep Zach Valine in your prayers. 100%.
Going to a conclusion here that I never would have even thought had I not read the comments. Everybody's assuming that he's going to wipe out Iran with a nuclear weapon.
He did say a civilization will die tonight.
Well, so first of all, I think this is a huge litmus test.
Never to return.
Blake thinks this is funny. Blake thinks this is funny.
Well, I think he's talking about the regime, but listen,
You're such an idiot, dude. Why are you changing what he said? He said an entire civilization will be wiped out, never to return. He's not talking about a regime. He talks about the regime later in the text. and says, now that we have total regime change. He's talking about a civilization. You saw those pictures, those videos of the Iranian families, civilians gathering on the bridges, little kids, little girls, little boys, wives, mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, elderly, disabled. You think Charlie would support this? You're disgusting.
Just maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the crazy one, and I'm not looking at President Trump's truth here in the proper light. I don't think that's true. So I know President Trump to use the
just make excuses for him, dude. Go ahead. Oh, all right. We're gonna get back to the Nathan Apfel thing, but let me cross this off the box. I forgot I played this out of order. This was supposed to be played earlier.
Dan, thank you so much for being here. Let's just start with this person with whom the suspect was in a romantic relationship. Can you confirm this information that it was this man transitioning from male to female and that the two of them were in a romantic relationship together?
It appears, Megan, from the information we've accumulated both forensically and digitally in the comms between the two and some of the statements from family and friends that there was a relationship here that may have been beyond platonic. I think we have a good body of information at this point indicating that. And can I just say, if I was listening to you open there, just let me say in advance, I don't do a lot of media. Coming from a media space, and I may surprise some people, but I haven't. I've only done a few media appearances since I've been here for the last 6 months. But we believe, both the director and I and others, that given the public interest, significant public interest in this case, understandably, that it's important we get out ahead and share as much as we can. I only say that because there are things I'm not, as a deputy director, able to to communicate to you, and other things I will. So I just want you to understand, don't mistake sometimes my lack of an answer for anything other than there's a reason there's some things I can't say.
No, we don't have Dan Bongino, podcaster, sitting here. We have Dan Bongino, Deputy Director of the FBI, and you have to be more careful in that role. Totally got it. So you just blow me off if I ask something you can't answer, and we can be explicit about that. The audience will understand. Are you guys confirming, Dan, that the boyfriend's name is Lance Twiggs?
That is the boyfriend's name.
All right. You guys do me a favor. We're not done. We're not even close to done. All right. We got 114 likes, but we got 170, 167 people here now. Hit the like and it's subscribe for me. Okay. So this is the media appearance that was referenced in that document. This is just one of many that the defense used to say that Tyler Robinson's innocence and his presumption of innocence was destroyed time and time and time again by Trump, by JD, by Dan Bongino, by Kash Patel, by Governor Cox, by the prosecutor's office, by all the media that came out and said everything that they said. He's guilty. That's him. His parents turned him in. He confessed. He's a leftist. He became more pro-gay, more pro-trans.
Okay. And how many roommates did the shooter have, the alleged shooter?
Well, at this point, how many people roommate? Let's say that we have the suspect in this case, and then we have Lance. How many people they associated with, and how many in fact lived or resided there? It's up in the air. However,
that's a weird way to answer that, you guys. He didn't want to answer that. He didn't answer it at all. Well, we know that there were 5 or more prints and DNA evidence found on the towel and the rifle, some of which are probably male family members of Tyler Robinson, like his brother, his dad, and his grandfather. And the prosecution didn't produce their validation and their process for the STR mix of determining that Sorry, I just I saw something in a comment. It distracted me. Sorry. That made sure to eliminate those as possible contributors. Literally all of the evidence that they've claimed to be overwhelming, literally the defense has shown that like none of it is actual evidence that points to Tyler Robinson at all.
There is apparently a network of people, whether they were friends. And I think you hit on the important question in the open. Given his network of friends and associates, what was the level of foreknowledge about this attack? Did they know something and refuse to say something? Did they know something and think it was a joke? Now, you as an attorney are well aware, there's going to be a lot of opinions on the matter. However, we have to build a probable cause case and get over that hurdle in order to properly charge other people if they do have involvement. So but I want to assure the audience, I was pretty clear on this in the news appearance this morning. We are not done. Anyone under the assumption out there that this is the end of the investigation is categorically wrong. It's not even the end of the beginning of the investigation. We're exhausting every lead. There are thousands of leads that have come in through open source, through our InTalk line.
Yeah, none of them are the ones that Joe Kent was talking about, though. Those don't count. Oh, I wanted to share this. One of our members here, one of our amazing members, community members and followers and viewers, do you guys remember when Erika Kirk said that she left the Hamptons to go to Bill's Burgers to meet with Charlie Kirk? Do you guys remember that? Do you guys want to know what she was doing in the Hamptons? That's where they filmed The Summer House. She literally left a dating reality TV show where she was going on dates, flirting with guys, drinking, who knows what else. I couldn't find like a lot of this out there. I'm going to play the clip that I found. But so she traveled, whatever, directly from the Summer House filming and dating and flirting and drinking with other dudes to then meet her future husband, who she said she was living as a traditional Christian, conservative woman, because God had told her that she needed to be the woman to attract a Charlie. You guys, you know that a filming doesn't air immediately. Charlie wouldn't have known that. I wonder when it finally aired, if anyone was like, bro, when did you have that meeting with Erika at Bill's Burgers? Wait, really? Did you know that she came straight from the Hamptons to meet you? Did she tell you what she was doing in the Hamptons? She didn't freaking tell you? Bro, check this video out. She's like on a dating show, drinking, flirting with dudes. Yeah. Supposedly didn't drink and date. She didn't tell you? I get it. I get why she wouldn't tell you. I don't even know if he ever saw it or if that was something that they made sure he didn't see. I mean, it's not like Charlie had time to watch TV at all. And I highly doubt that his guilty pleasure was young reality dating shows. So how would he have ever found out? Especially if all the people around him were like running, point for her, making sure that nothing got in, nobody get in here with information. They contrived that issue with Candace so that they had a falling out. So now Candace is out. Nuts. Yeah, we'll watch a little clip. The audio is not that great. Oh, did not mean to do that. I have to turn up the volume on some of these because the audio and video on this is so bad. What I also really don't want to do anytime I play something from a different show, like a real show, like on a network television, YouTube it gets all worked up. YouTube gets all mad, you know. Fair use. Okay. YouTube, fair use. Copyright. All right. I'm allowed to pause and play. I'm telling you, this is my commentary and criticism of Erika Kirk in regards to that video. So you shall not interrupt my stream. And if you do, no, you're not playing by the rules. So play by the rules, dude. You're going to win. You got to win fairly. Is she drinking? You guys, does she have a drink in her hand? I know it's a little blurry. Ugh, looks like she does.
I think I was going through a phase of my life where I was like, I want to meet somebody in real life.
Bro, the audio and video is so bad in this video. I'm not going to do that to you guys. Long story short is she clearly was in the Hamptons, the filming of this. She's dating, she's drinking, flirting, and then she goes straight to Charlie. Oh, and then he says, let's go grab another drink. Let's go grab a mojito together. Cool. She's not a liar. All right. Yeah. How did Charlie not know this? You guys, I think very easily he did not know. He's on the road 320 days a year. Even when he's home, he's going on guest appearances. He's doing speaking engagements. He has his show. His show would have different segments throughout the day. When I show you America's Voice and I show you Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett now, that's when he would be on the show. It's like all day, every day, even Saturday and Sunday. And then he would stream from home. He had a home studio. He'd go and visit the president. He'd go on other people's podcasts like Tucker Carlson. He did other podcasts as well. He was so incredibly busy. He outsourced everything. He didn't keep his own schedule. He had someone else do that. Okay. If he met this woman that his, business associate, Tyler, like vetted and was like, no, she's legit. She's a Christian, man. Yeah. Yeah, no, she's so godly. She's so close to God. I swear. And Charlie's like, all right, can you just do me a good favor? Do me a solid and just look into her background. Just make sure it's on the up and up. Yeah, sure. She's good to go. Good. Pass the check. Guarantee, dude. He's not going to have time himself. And not only that, we know from like one-on-ones, I know like in person and after the assassination, we are all like with a magnifying glass looking at her. No one was doing that beforehand. There would be no reason for Charlie to have assumed that she was a black widow. What's another insect or animal that like consumes the husband after mating? I know there's more than one. That she's that, but in human form. There's no way he would have assumed or like had any kind of like, I don't know. No, especially if she did go to Fort Huachuca and take like a Christian infiltration training course after she was done working for the CIA, going around telling people about freaking EMPs for her mommy dearest, Lori. And on top of that, if he was just heartbroken, right? Like I assume maybe that rejection, that unrequited love wasn't because of the girl, that someone forced her to say, no, Charlie, I'm not interested. Or it was legitimate. Either way, he wouldn't have known the difference. He would have been pretty broken after that. And then how perfect is like, Disney and like romance, like, oh, the one that got away was the one that broke my heart was right before the one I marry. And honestly, so many times that actually does happen, you guys. It's like the one that you dated right before the one you marry. Well, for me, was the worst, like the worst experience of my life. It was many years though. It wasn't like Erika where it was like Sunday and then she like met Charlie on Tuesday, or like in January, and then she met Charlie in August. Like, it was like years, but nonetheless, that for him, he wouldn't have known the difference, and that like he'd be heartbroken, he'd be distraught. And then here comes this Christian woman, and everyone's saying, even in that show, they're like, oh, and she's religious. She presented herself as this Christian, religious, like, oh, woman. And she's pretty. She was prettier then. Didn't Wolves in Finance call her chunky? On Sunday, didn't he? Didn't he call her chunky? I think he did. I think he said because like she's the medium, Stacey's the small, and Elizabeth McCoy's the extra small, or Stacey's the extra small and Elizabeth's small. I don't know, but that Erika's the medium. She's the chunky one. What does this say? Love does not do what Erika Kirk did. No. Yeah, chunky one. She was the chunky one. I mean, she's not chunky. I'm not body shaming here. I think it's funny that he said that. But yeah, like Charlie would not have been, like, he had no other experience to like gauge this on. He had one previous, like, we don't even know if it was a romantic. By the way that Barron said, it was like, it was one-sided romance. Charlie wanted more. She didn't. How would he have known? Like, you don't go to church and meet Christian women at church and go like, I think they're evil. Got to be careful. These Christian women, they're praying, they're in ministry, but they are evil. He would never have even, it never would have crossed his mind. And then he had all these people around him saying like, yes, she's Christian. She's good. She's pretty. She's smart. She's perfect. Blech. That's why I think he could have been duped. Duped, I say. All right, now let's get back to the end of the last segment I want to share. This is the Nathan Apfel, where he talks about Paula White. Let's listen. And let me just make sure that YouTube knows we're playing by the rules. We're playing by the rules. I got to do everything so that they don't cut my stream while we're live.
You give us the overview. Can you just describe what that was like?
It was an interesting experience. You know, when you see Paula on stage next to Trump, or you see any big evangelical leader, Kenneth Copeland, Franklin Graham, you'd expect their church to be massive.
Yeah.
You know, thousands and thousands of people.
They're pastors. They have a church. They're pastoring people. They're
the shepherds.
Exactly. They're the shepherd.
Yeah. And so we pull up, and I expected a very big building.
Where is it?
It is in Apopka, I think I'm saying it right, Florida. So just north of Orlando.
Okay.
And I've been to Joel Osteen's church, you know, tens of thousands of seats. I've been to Second Baptist, 93,000 members in that church. I know big church, right? It looked like a one of those metal sheds, you know, one of those big, like 5,000 square foot. It looked like an airplane hangar, basically. And I was like, this is just awkward. It was, the parking lot probably fit 50 cars. And so it was just an overflow in a dirt lot. This is a good size, like, setting for you. They just had a simple coffee maker, like a standard pot coffee for their entire congregation. And so I walked in, I counted about 400 chairs. And when I got there, which was the time the service started, there was 7 people sitting.
On Easter Sunday?
On Easter Sunday. And so we walked in, they put us 2 rows from the stage. And ironically, Paula's daughter-in-law approached me. And I was there with my girlfriend, and she approaches us and goes, who are you? And I'm wearing a floral shirt, yellow sunglasses, and an Alabama hat. Like, I try to be awkward in these situations. And she comes straight up and she goes, I'm Paula White's daughter-in-law. And I'm like, I'm Nathan. I don't know.
All right. This story gets better. I'm giving the setup, playing by the rules, YouTube. Okay. What he says about Paula White is crazy.
Hide who I am. And she's like, would you take a photo in front of our Easter display? And I'm like, sure. And so I walk over, and Paula White's daughter-in-law is taking a photo of me. And I'm like, okay, can we get it? And I wouldn't be surprised if it's on their Instagram this morning because it was for like their Instagram. So we go and we sit down and it packs out to about 200 people on an Easter Sunday. One of the two biggest, Christmas and Easter, the two biggest holidays for Christianity. 200 people show up to this thing, mostly African Americans. I was one of 6 white people. And then you got this white woman on stage. And that was the...
That's because Paula White's spiritual, mentor was T.D. Jakes.
Setting.
That's her church?
Her church, yeah.
Well,
don't get me wrong. They got the lights and the fog machine and the jib arm that flies over the crowd. It's a production studio is what I would call it.
Yep.
Production stage.
So the point is not to minister to the people in the church.
No.
Take care of their problems, counsel them, bring them closer to Jesus. The point is to produce a TV show? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I would say. Similar to Joel Osteen, he's a TV producer by trade. Yep. Kenneth Copeland, same thing. When I went to Kenneth's church, it was very small. Sat maybe 400 or 500 people, and it was a massive studio with multiple jib arms, multiple cameras, security, massive stage. I produce TV. Like they produce TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So did she preach?
No, her son preached.
Yes.
So she got up and gave a little message in the morning, a little prayer. And there was a really weird dynamic between her and her son. And I've got their bylaws, which I think explain why. But her son gave and got up and gave, honestly, a really sound message. Like, I give a shout out to Brad. Like, that dude knows the Bible. And it was very interesting to me because I saw him visibly wrestling with this idea of shepherding and then the idea of the institution. And there was times where he would look at his mom and just throw daggers at her about corruption, power. It was a very interesting dynamic, and she would belittle him too. It was wild.
During the service?
Yeah. During the service.
On Easter Sunday.
On Easter Sunday. And then once he finished the sermon, which, hey, Brad, great sermon until the very end, because then he's like, I don't want to do an altar call, but I'm a charismatic, so I have to do an altar call. And I'm like, well, you don't have to do an altar call.
What's an altar call?
It's basically him saying, hey, if you're not a Christian, come down to the stage. You're going to say, Jesus is my savior. I'm a sinner. And boom, you're a Christian.
I got to be careful not to play it too long without like pausing and playing you guys. I really don't want my whole stream to be taken down.
A country with over 1 million Christians in it.
So I drove up to Tampa, and now it's a bar. It's like a restaurant bar.
I'll give you the lowdown. Paula White has been embroiled in controversy and allegations and misconduct. She raised hundreds of thousands of dollars from her congregants at her first church in Florida somewhere. People mortgaged their homes and gave money so that they could buy this hotel near the property and have a ministry to prostitutes and drug addicts. They never bought the hotel, and they never started that ministry. And at that same time, one of T.D. Jakes' mentees was caught literally with his pants down in a hotel with a prostitute, and he overdosed. And so T.D. Jakes gave Paula White that church. And from the time Trump began his political career, where he was really giving signs that he wanted to run, Paula White had an eye out for him. She would fly down to Mar-a-Lago, wait, go to events, wait, and then rush him. And she's a bull. Yeah. And she was persistent. Somehow, I did a post today on X. I think my allergies are going crazy today. It's springtime up here. It's sunny and the flowers are blooming. But I did a post and I was like, it is based on Paula White's speech to Trump and on Easter Sunday at the White House. I was like, she does know he's never going to sleep with her, right? And he's not going to make her the ambassador to Philly. Both of those positions are currently filled by Melania and Mike Huckabee. Because I say that because what you watch her do is basically prostitute herself to him. She says he's like Christ. It is so heretical, blasphemous, disgusting, evil. Yeah, I don't have enough words. Let me get to the part where he reads the bylaws, where you find out the truth about Paula White.
Talk. Call me whatever you want.
So should your business model, if you're a pastor, should your business model emulate Christ?
Well, I think your whole life is supposed to emulate Christ.
Perfect. So here's her bylaws, which are marked confidential, by the way. So her church cannot read her bylaws. The people who fund her cannot read her bylaws.
Yep.
The only reason why they came out was because of a lawsuit. I'm going to jump to page 2 really quick about membership. Members of the congregation are non-voting. Members of the board of directors are voting. So congregants who fund it have no say over anything.
So
we'll jump a few pages further about removing officers. So if for some reason she had a scandal, right? Usually we remove officers from corporations that have scandals or abuse their control and power. But not for her. Ready? Any officer except the pastor president, she is the pastor and president, may be removed from his or her office by the board of directors. The pastor president shall have the authority to remove any officer from his or her office at any time at her discretion. So she cannot be removed because any officer except the pastor president can be removed. And then she can fire anyone at any time for anything. So she has unilateral control. It gets better. Ready? Section 5 is resignation, removal, succession of pastor president. If the pastor president voluntarily resigns, she may designate her successor. The pastor president shall serve as president and a member.
I love you guys. You guys are great. Renita. Correction. Polishite. Polishite. Also, Google images of her, almost all of them have darkness in her eyes. She is possessed. Yeah, her and Kenneth Copeland. The both of them, birds of a feather flock together.
For the board of directors until her death or resignation without need of election or appointment, she shall not be subject to removal. These are her bylaws.
Says that?
Says that.
Is this a monarchy? What is this?
It's a monarchy. It's a monarchical power.
It is.
Death. Upon her death, the pastor president shall be succeeded in the office of pastor president and as a director by her son, Brad Knight. It's a dynasty.
Yep.
In bylaws that congregants can't see.
So disgusting. And then he reads the one on the Baptist church.
Christ, I have to go through Paula White.
I believe we had a Protestant Reformation to get away from this idea.
Yeah, we did.
You can keep that copy.
That the leader is infallible and the leader speaks always and everywhere for God himself.
Yes.
That.
Isn't that why we had the Reformation 500 years ago?
Well, that's the point of Christ. Christ came to remove middlemen, to remove the Levitical priesthood.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so how unusual. I've never heard of anything like that. How unusual is that?
That's pretty aggressive bylaws, but here's Second Baptist bylaws.
Here we go.
So
Second Baptist, you guys. And Second Baptist is where Erika's going to speak at in Dallas. Or wait, Second Baptist is Houston. It's a different Baptist one in Dallas. But that one's just as bad.
I had a fun interaction in Houston the other week. This is a church with $1 billion in assets in Houston. $1 billion. It's 98 years old. So that means generation after generation of generous, Christ-centered Houstonians have funded this building.
Some of my favorite people in the world and relatives of mine who I really look up to as Christians, have spent a lot of time in that church and helped fund it and whatever. So I know that there are true
amazing people,
Christians in that church.
93,000 members had voting rights. And voting rights are, hey, just like a democracy, just like America, a republic. We want to
have you guys seen the video where Kenneth Copeland literally has snake eyes? Where he's on the airfield. Let's see if I could find it. Wait, what? Why didn't that let me type it in? Where is he? Here it is. Here we go.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm sharing it. Wait, what the frick? Come on. Yeah, okay. I'm there. Watch this. In his Escalade on his private airport, getting in his private plane with his private driver.
We'd just like to ask you about why you don't want to fly commercial. Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
No, listen to me just a second. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really the main.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But
Isn't it the business of your donors?
listen, I paid. You kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah,
okay,
that's the point.
Certainly. Well, if you like to come out here, I'd like to give you a chance to catch your breath and have a conversation. We don't want to catch you off guard.
I love Inside Edition. You got to get this now. Hey, you listening to me? My wife thinks Inside Edition is, oh yeah. Now,
where's the part where he goes?
Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do. We have brought over 100.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Can you explain what you meant by that term then? Just explain, because it's really simple. You said you didn't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. What did you mean?
Well, let me ask.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel okay, like Nina, what's his name? Who? This right here is Nathan Apfel, okay? The pastor I just played is Kenneth Copeland. So please just spare us, please. Okay. All right. We're done. All right.
Have a say in
Just
how,
like the church in Acts.
Yes, we want to have a say.
The earliest church.
And that's what we should probably be modeling ourselves after, right? We want to have a say in how this all operates. A couple years ago, one very interesting lawyer from Dallas, who I've had multiple interactions with, and then the young family decided to, in a shady back end deal, remove voting rights of 93,000 members like that. So $1 billion in assets that was voted on by 93,000 members in a single meeting.
They took it away. On
page 7, removed the voting rights. As such, members are not entitled to vote in person, by proxy, or otherwise. So $1 billion in assets were put into the hands of 6 people, 5 of which are related.
When did that happen?
2023, and now there's an ongoing lawsuit because the congregants are suing for their rights back.
How can you do that?
Evil. Straight up evil. That's that, y'all. Well, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like and hit the subscribe. It's how you can help the channel. If anyone has any comments they would like to get in before the show ends, please get them in now. Are we ghost hunting? Yeah. It's not a he, it's a thing. Yes, I agree. Yes. It's an it. It's a demon. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Love you guys. Thank you for your love and support. Tomorrow, I will be able to go earlier. I had clients, and then I had a space, and then I had more clients. So that's why it was a little bit earlier. Baron went live today. So, I mean, you know, tomorrow he's not, though. I mean, he said he's not. So hopefully I will be able to go at like 3 or 4 tomorrow. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Kenneth Copeland is Erika's father. Maybe. I mean, you never know. Well, we got Mystic. Erika Kirk says, all creators have permission to play her content if you want to end on a laugh. Oops. Where's her most recent? It's on X. I mean, it probably isn't gonna like me. I can find it. Wait, no, Baron said he's not going live tomorrow. Nina, he is? He's going live tomorrow? So he's not taking any days off this week? I thought he was taking days off for his 21st anniversary and then he was traveling. No? I got that wrong? Please look up Kenneth Copeland says the devil is. So other people said don't. They didn't want to look at him. If you guys all say you want to say Kenneth Copeland, the devil is Ebony Black. Never mind, laugh out loud. Okay. Do you hold on? There's a lot going on. Check your texts. Okay. There's so much going on. Okay. That's on my phone. How do you want me to get this on the computer? You want me to put it on air? All right. Let me copy. Let me email it to myself. Okay. Best way to send me stuff, you guys, is emailing it to me. Because then I can just pull it up and play it. All right. Emailed. Wham. All right. Let's pull it up. Thank you, because that way I don't. Well, it's probably going to route me to X anyway, though, honestly. So let's see. Email. Oh, no, it's YouTube. All right. All right. Hold on. Has this already been watched? Do we know that it's not going to say anything wildly inappropriate? It's okay. All right. I'm going to play it. Hold on. There's so much going on today, you guys. Holy smokes. I got like people saying like, check your text, check your email. Got my wife coming in yelling at me. Let me read this real quick. I got it confused today because he normally doesn't go live on Tuesday. So I was thinking today was Monday. True. But you know, I thought he wasn't doing a lot of lives this week at all anyway, but he ended up, so he might, I guarantee you, if Trump ends up bombing, Iran, he'll probably do a live tomorrow, even though I know Trump just put out a True Social saying like ceasefire. We're not doing it. 2 weeks. We're not going to bomb them. Yeah, we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Is that as big as it gets?
Maria, get out of here. I'm doing a video. Give me that. Just go home. Go worship the Lord. Let's cook. I'm ready to cook. I'm ready to cook. Hi, everybody. Happy Easter. Man, we have just been slaving in the kitchen all day long. And when I say we, I mean me. And you know our good friend, Stacey Sheraton. Stacey's already starting ahead of time, aren't you, Stacey? I know, girl. It's okay. So let's get cooking. First things first, potato salad. You got to have potato salad and ham on Easter, right? First, put your potatoes in the pot, your eggs, add a lettuce, mayonnaise. Can't have potato salad without mayonnaise. Wait, it's going to be so good. Get back in this house. I'm not done. We're not done with dinner. I need you. No, I didn't tell you to take the day off. Next, we're going to do the candied yams. Who doesn't love Stacey's grandma candied yams? Isn't that right, Stacey? We're just going to open this can first. Hey, come open this can. That's great. So then you're gonna take over, Stacey? Okay, just take this one first. Sweet potato. Can't forget the marshmallows. Stacey, you're so bad. How do you stay so skinny? Can't forget the butter. The butter. And we like to put lots of brown sugar. Praise Jesus. All right. Then we just throw it in the oven now. 30 minutes on 400.
Look at Stacey. Is Stacey the extra small in the aloe purchase? She must be.
That's great, Stacey. I know. Woo! Oh, so that was Stacey's sweet potato pie. Are you guys gonna make it? I bet you made one today. I've been slaving all day, and now it's time to pull the ham out of the oven. I cooked this myself. Doesn't it look yummy? You are so silly. I told you guys to go home. Go enjoy your family. Go praise our Lord. Oh yeah? You're sad because you didn't get to go home for Easter. Well, tough shit. How many shirts did you sell today? I don't care if your family misses you. My husband's dead. You better sell some more shirts if you even want to be around next Easter. From our house to yours. Happy Easter. My turn. Go, go, go. Woo! I'm so glad that's over. What do you want to do today? I got it. Let's drink some more and then go count our money. Happy Easter!
Oh my gosh. Okay, that was totally worth it. Let's go. Renita sent me something. Okay, hold on. Whoa. Hold on, behave. Back up. All right. Ready?
Who do you think you are today? The more we learn about this covenant of God. What blood? The blood of this covenant, glory to God. Cut the covenant with his Father God.
Glory. There's like two people in the audience. What is going on? This is the one where they literally like they do a blood covenant with like a knife. I can't play that part where they cut their hands.
Yes, like Moses of old. There's they're coming one. Oh! Don't ever do it. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself. Don't ever do it. Absolutely stunning. Just delicious. It's so good. And he will be like Moses, and he'll live 120 years. And he said, yeah. Preach it, brother, preach it, brother, preach it. Just before the cross. And we have a...
Like, for real, you guys? Who are in the audience looking at this man and not going like, this might be the devil? Like, he might be in there. Or like one of his head demons. Like, this is for real demonic. People use that a lot these days. Like, this is demonic. You're demonic. That's demonic. No, for real. This dude is 100% demon possessed demonic. Like, not even question. No.
Healing covenant. Dwells in me, the pure, spotless blood of God. And Hesed was performed for me. He's my blood brother, and my father is my friend. And as he is, so are we in this world. Glory to God, I don't have it. I never will have it. And I don't mind telling you, I'll never be sick again in my life hereafter forever. Not one time. I will never. Say what? Today? We know your mama.
Bro, what in the world? People are really fooled by that. It's nuts. Let's see. He said, I got confused today. He normally doesn't go live. Oh, I read that one already. He might go though tomorrow. So we'll see. You might be right. I'm on maternity leave and I'm constantly getting my days mixed up. Laugh out loud. You might be right though, but you might be right though, because I honestly thought he was taking the whole week off. I thought he said it's his 21st wedding anniversary this week. And then I thought he said he was he was traveling, unless that's the next week. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow. We will see tomorrow. I was dealing with the kids, so I wasn't paying too close to the end of his super chats. I didn't even make it to the super chats. His super chats have been like half of the show recently. If I waited for the end of the super chats, we wouldn't have a show. Yep. All right. Thank you guys. Unless there's anything else before we sign off. Love you guys so much. You guys are a blessing to me, and this community is a blessing to one another. God bless you guys so much. And tomorrow we'll be going earlier. I mean, as long as Barron doesn't go at 3, then we'll see. But definitely, yeah, his super chats are like 3 to 4 hours of the stream. I know. Yeah. Time to watch something light now. Mean Girls, here I come. Yeah, we like watching like The Office, my wife and I, or we watch Friends. We love Friends. It's really funny. And I'm in a house full of ladies. So, we watch That's So Raven, Mean Girls. What are some of the Full House, Gilmore Girls, Halloween Town, yeah, really fun stuff. All right. Love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.